Hey guys, it's Rebecca from Mama Bear Custom Wreaths, and welcome to my channel where I make wreaths and all things home decor, and I show you how I do it all. All right guys, let's get started. We have a 14-inch wreath base, and this wreath base has bars. We have a total of 4 bars, so let's number this as number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3, and bar number 4. You'll also notice we have some crossbars, and that gives us 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you also see that our wreath curves up. The one I'm using curves up. So that's going to be the top part, the part that curves up like this, like a hump, like a hill. And then if you flip it over, it's concave, looks like a U. That is the bottom. So we're going to start with our wreath facing up. We are going to take a chenille stem. We're going to I like to fold it in half and make it a V. It makes it easier for me to gauge where the middle part of it is. If you don't have to do this step, I think it's helpful. And we're going to go to bars 3 and 4, and we're going to wrap our chenille stem around bars 3 and 4 a couple of times to make sure it's tight. And that's going to look like this, like little antennas, little legs. So we're going to take another chenille stem. We're going to need a total of 18, and we're going to wrap our next piece between bars 1 and 2 right in the center of our section in our wreath base. Okay. And now we're going to take another chenille stem, and we're going to tie that around 3 and 4. And tighten it. Okay, so in one section, we have 2 bars that are on the outside. So I guess I have it upside down. That's better probably. So this is our inner wreath, bars 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1 of our little legs wrapped around bars 1 and 2 in the center. And then on either side of that, not quite to the crossbar, but a little distance from it, I have on bars 3 and 4, 1 on either side. So I'm going to do this for all 6 sections. I'm going to have 3, 1 on bars 1 and 2, and then I'm going to have 2 on either side of bars 3 and 4. And I'm going to leave about this much space between the bar and the chenille stem. Okay, so I'll be right back. And this is our monstrosity. It looks like an octopus kind of, with all kinds of little legs. So we have 6 of our little leg sets in the center and 12 on the outside. Okay, so this is what we're going to use to build our beautiful wreath on. Next, we're gonna get our deco mesh. This is 10-inch deco mesh, and I chose pink, red, and this red with some like literally white, iridescent white and pink and red stripes. I don't know my colors today. Okay, so we're gonna get our deco mesh, and we're gonna roll it out, put something heavy on this side, and to be a little more time efficient, we're just going to roll our deco mesh on top of each other. So that we can cut 3 pieces all at once. Now, since so we're going to cut, didn't realize you guys were cut off at the bottom part. So we're gonna cut 18 pieces because we have 18 little chenille stems, and we're gonna cut each piece at 30 inches. And I am using a rotary cutter, which makes cutting easier, straighter than scissors. But if you don't have a rotary cutter, feel free to use your scissors. If you are going to use a rotary cutter though, you need to get one of these self-healing mats. because if you don't, you will cut up and scratch up your table. And that will not be good. These cutting mats are kind of these things where you didn't know you needed them until you got one and you're like, oh wow, I can do everything on this. I can measure, I can cut, I can paint and not mess up my table. Or if I don't have a dedicated space, I can protect the space that I'm working on, the table or the countertop, whatever it is. So I love mine. But I'm going to cut 18 pieces. So I cut 6 so far, and I'll be back when I'm done with it. Okay, so I have cut all of our mesh, and I actually ran out of the striped one, so I had to use this heart one. So 2 of them will have hearts, but you hopefully won't tell. All right, so we are going to get our, I'm gonna move this aside one more time, and we're gonna get our deco mesh one at a time, and we are going to do this. Put something heavy on one side. We're gonna get some clips, okay? Extend this out. We're going to roll one side like this. We're gonna make like little paper towel rolls, cigars, telescopes, whatever you wanna call it. We're going to put our chip clip there. Then we're going to put something heavy right next to that. And then we're gonna go on the other side and do the same thing, okay? And then we're gonna put a chip clip here. And then we are just going to walk one side to the other, like this, until they meet. We'll take our chip clips off, and we have this little butterfly. And then we will open up our, we can start at the inner, we can start at the outer, up to you. Sideways like this, we're going to put our deco mesh, and then we're just gonna tie it. We can just tie it once because we're gonna open this again. Put that aside again, and I'll show you how to do it again. Separate our deco mesh. Put something heavy on one side. On the other side, just roll, okay? Put a chip clip. Put our heavy item on this side. And then we are going to make another little cigar on this side. Tuck that in. And put a chip clip. Then we just walk the other side to us. Once they're united in holy matrimony, take our chip clips off, and we have a pretty little butterfly. Now, because we have this one here, we're going to just lift this one and then put our butterfly right here in the center. And then we're going to just kind of fluff these next to each other. And then I'm gonna go all the way around the outer ring, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing on the inner ring, just alternating our colors. Do it one more time for you. I'm going to put something heavy on one side. Just roll this to make a little burrito. I'm getting hungry. Let's use telescope so I don't get hungry. And we're gonna roll this side. Put a chip clip, there's food again. Clothespin, there we go, clothespin, you can say clothespin. And then we're gonna walk our deco mesh to us. And take our chip clips off. We have our pretty little butterfly. We are going to open up, we're gonna lift up our deco mesh butterfly from before. We're gonna put this one right in the center and then join these like this next to each other. So this is what all three look like next to each other. So I'm gonna continue this all the way around, and then I'm gonna do the inside, and I'll be back. Okay, so the outer rings, or the outer part of our wreath is done, and we just need to do the inside. We're gonna do the same exact thing, but I just wanted to show you how it looks once, so that in case you get a little stuck or a little overwhelmed, you can see what it looks like. So I'm just gonna do the same little rolls and then walk it just like I did before. Okay, make my butterfly. And I'm gonna just open up one of my little stems and put the deco mesh inside like I did on the outer ring. And then fluff it so it's not all jammed, but they're next to each other so it gives it volume. And I'm gonna just follow the same exact thing all the way around for the other 5 little chenille stem legs. I didn't do the chip clip on the second part there, just because I do this enough that I don't need to do it anymore. But if you still need to do both sides, go ahead. So again, we're gonna lift this side, put it inside, and then we're gonna tie it, and we're gonna fluff these 2 next to each other. And now we gotta make sure they're all fluffy and next to each other. Okay, so I'm gonna do it for the remaining ones, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is our wreath base, and look how full it looks. So nice and full. Okay, we're gonna put that aside, and we are going to match up our ribbons. So I have these 2 that I'm gonna match up. I have these 2 I'm gonna match up, and I have these 2 I'm going to match up. So I am going to cut our ribbon 14 inches. And I am using my ribbon scissors to cut my ribbon so that I get nice, clean, precise, surgical cuts. And I'm gonna just cut all of my ribbon 14 inches in length. I'm not gonna bore you and cut all of them on this tutorial, but I will show you how to dovetail. So if you get your ribbon and you just fold it in half, you get your scissor and you cut downwards. This is the crease. Sorry, this is your crease, and these are the edges. You start at your edges and you fold down towards your crease, and it gives you this V. I'll do it one more time. Fold your ribbon. This side are my edges. In the middle here is my crease, and I'm gonna start from the edges and cut down towards my crease. And that gives me my dovetail. So I have all 3 sets of our ribbon. They've all been dovetailed, and I organize them so that they are paired up in the order in which I will add them to our wreath. So let's bring our wreath back. And do you remember our long chenille stems? And I told you did not have to tie them so tightly. That's because we're going to be adding our ribbon to our deco mesh. So we're going to take our ribbon like so. We're going to fold it in half. You can fold it this way or you can fold it this way, whichever is more comfortable to you, it doesn't really matter. Just fold it in half and then pinch that center part. Okay. So we pinch it and it looks like a little V like this, or an upside down A. And we're gonna open up that chenille stem and we are going to tie it in the center, and now we will tie it tightly. And I hear my children outside. They are home from swimming. So I will probably have to continue this wreath after I settle them down. Okay, so that's what that one looks like. The next red, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Fold this in half. You can fold it forward, fold it backwards, as long as it's in half. Make my little V, and then open up the chenille stem. And put it right in the middle. And then we're gonna tie it. Now, as you're doing this, you can already snip if you want right here. Our chenille stems, curl them back, or wait till the end. It's up to you. Okay, take that, fold it in half, pinch it. That is not a hurricane, it is my children. Hey, baby.
Practicing Spanish and card, I don't want to
Hey, Mommy, I got a new heart.
You got a new heart?
Yeah. Mommy.
Oh, good.
Oreo is a house.
Mommy.
So, on that note, I will continue recording in a little bit.
You are human, Mommy.
Thank you, honey.
Mommy.
All right, sorry about that. So, we will take our next ribbon, fold it in half like this, and then pinch it. And then we will tie this. Okay, and then we'll fluff these out towards the end because we're gonna do a whole bunch of things to our wreath. That's what it looks like thus far. So we're gonna do that all the way around, and we're gonna make sure that we keep the same rhythm, the same pattern, okay? So when I'm done, I will be back. So this is our wreath completed with the ribbon. So this is our sign, and we're gonna put our sign right here. And I have these cable mounts, which we just peel off. It's easier said than done. Peel off this back part. Okay. We will just put that on the back of our sign. Put 2 of them. I do have links to as many things as I can to Amazon, because I am an Amazon girl. I have too many kids to go out and buy stuff at stores. Just getting them in and out of car seats itself takes a good while. So, and I am going to get 2 chenille stems, like so. I am going to put them together like this, and I am going to weave them together to create one long one. They do sell longer chenille stems if you would like to purchase them. I'll add links to that as well. I don't have them. I just make do with these, but if you'd like to get the longer chenille stems, you would be able to skip this step. So I am considering actually getting some for myself. And I have my hot glue gun that is charging my cordless hot glue gun. While that is warming up, I'm gonna go ahead and slide my chenille stems to the back of our sign. Okay, so our glue gun is ready. Whoa, that was a little too much. And I'm just going to put glue around the edges so that our sign doesn't fall off of our wreath. I do live in Texas and it is hot here in the summertime, like ridiculously hot. So I've had signs come off, and that is why I now glue them. So that is dry enough, and we are gonna put our sign how about we put it in the center? Let's put our sign in the center this time. Yeah, I think it looks pretty in the center. Okay, so we are going to take our chenille stems and we are going to tie them. We're gonna go kind of dig through our mesh and tie them around our bars, whichever bar it fits in. So the first time you flip it like this, and I'm just gonna tie it right here. Okay, so there's one, and then I'm gonna tie this other one around the bars over here. Okay, so that's our sign. And if you notice, it's not too tight. It's not squishing any of our mesh or our ribbon. Okay. It looks nice with our easy bow maker. And I think we have enough ribbon. We are going to start our first one with an 8-inch tail. Put it right here in the center. Flip it. We're gonna flip it up. And we're gonna have our first bow be a 6-inch loop, okay? So we measure here, it says 6 inches, put it here in the center, and then we're going to flip it. And we're going to put another 6 inches, so just put it right here in the middle, measure it to the 6 inches. Right here, we're gonna flip it again. I hope I have enough. And do another 6-inch loop. Okay. And then we're going to flip it. Six inches again. Squish it in the middle. I just have this much left, so I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this ribbon, see if I have enough to do 2 more loops. Let's do the next loop 5 inches. Okay, flip it upside. Five inches again, and then we have a longer tail, but we have enough. Perfect. Now we're gonna get our next ribbon, and I did not have enough of this ribbon, so I'm just gonna use this in the center, and I'll cut that later, and this will be our tail. So if you ever just have a little bit, you can still use it. Just use it for your tails. Okay, We can do tails again. Squish it here in the center, flip it upside, squish it down. And we're gonna do this one 5 centimeters. Put it here in the center. We're gonna flip it upwards. And then we're going to go on the other side. And the same thing, let's look for our 5-inch mark here. There it is. And we're gonna squish it here in the center. Flip it again. We're doing a lot of flipping here. And then we are going make another loop, flip it again. And one more loop. Okay, and then we're gonna take our ribbon scissors, cut that, okay. And let's take the smallest ribbon now. We're gonna do our tail, flip it, and you guessed it, make a loop. And we can make this one 4 inches. And make that loop, flip it again. Make this one 4 loops. Dad is giving baths and it doesn't look like everyone wants one. You guys can hear that. Okay, so we can just do 2 there. Cut this. And we are gonna take our zip tie and our chenille stem. This is our bow. Let's lift it up a little bit. And we're going to put our chenille stem right through there. And then we can put our zip tie through there. And then we're gonna put our chenille stem right here in the center. And we're gonna lift this lasagna up. Okay, and then right there where it's creased, we know that's gonna be our center. We're going to close our zip tie. We're gonna try to make this part not be on top where it's visible, so we'll put that part in the back. Okay, before we tighten it all the way, let's just make sure that our ribbon, like here in the front, you see these creases, that they aren't flowing up. And they're not. So we're just gonna tighten that up really tight, and you see our chenille stem is here at the bottom, so we can tie it to our wreath. Take our cutters. I don't even use regular scissors for that because that does dull them. Oops. Okay, let's bring our wreath back, and I know this does not look like a bow, but it will at the end, because I'm not gonna fluff everything out yet until the end. Okay, so I was thinking of putting this bow right here. Okay, so I am going to just dig through my mesh, and then I'm going to, just like I did my sign, I am going to tie it around my wreath bars. Now, unlike the sign, which we don't want to squish down too tightly, our ribbon we do. This, you see how I'm putting everything upside down. This is why I don't fluff the ribbons beforehand, because there's no point. You're just gonna mess them up every time you add something to it. Okay, so that's gonna be that bow right there. And we can separate our ribbon. Like I said, we will fluff these out later and cut these long tails. Okay, so we'll fluff this out a little bit later, but what we could at least do, because it is bugging me, is cut our tails that are really long. Just cut them a little shorter so they're not just covering up our pretty wreath. And we'll just dovetail the tails before we go add another. Remember, we fold it. Our edges are on this side, our crease is in the center. So we just cut downwards to that center so we don't make spears. I've made spears before. So now always make sure creases are on the outside. Center part fold is on the inside and I cut down. Okay, so we can start, I guess, kind of fluffing a little bit of our ribbon if we'd like, just kind of rolling it out all the way around, giving it volume, just fluffing it out like this, gives it volume. Since it is wired ribbon, I only use wired ribbon. Because if it's not wired, it just kind of falls flat. You can't control it. It doesn't really have shape definition to it. So you can separate these apart also so that it covers more space and it looks more dense. So I have these pretty red and pink florals. And I'm just snipping them off and putting them where I think would look pretty. And I'm thinking of putting them all throughout our wreath. Not just on the top row, but also on the bottom row. So that they don't look too clustered in just one spot. Okay. We have one up there. And just kind of find spots where they fit. It's hard with all of the mesh, I know. I think that looks really cute. So once we figured out where we want our flowers, we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue. And place it where we want them. And we can wiggle it a little bit because the hot glue will kind of melt the mesh since it's plastic. And that will like bond it together better. I'm gonna put my hot glue over here because it's dripping a little bit and I don't want it to drip on the wreath. It's okay if it drips on my mat, I can just pull it off, peel it off, since it is a self-healing mat. It's one of the great things about these mats. You don't have to worry about that. I'll just peel that off when it dries. Make sure not to stick it too far in, so you can't really see it. It looks kind of just squished and hidden. See? I just peel it off. Nothing wrong with the mat. Okay, and now we can, we're not gonna add anything else. Now we can take, let's turn off our glue gun. Now we can just roll our ribbon. Just curl it like this all throughout. And then these little extra stems that we have, we can cut them. We can roll them back, whatever you feel like doing. And I'll go back after the video. I'm not going to bore you with that during the video. But yeah, we're just gonna roll our ribbon, give it a nice little massage. The ribbon's been just cooped up around its spool for who knows how long, what continent it came from, how long it was on a boat or a ship or a plane, trucks, in a warehouse. This poor ribbon, it's finally getting its chance to stretch its legs out. So we're gonna do that. Are you feeling some empathy for this ribbon? And that is our ribbon. I mean, that is our bow. I'll put an upright picture for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, please do me a huge favor. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let me know where you are watching me from. I am in Texas, 70-degree February weather, Texas. 70, like 7-degree weather. Texas right now. Let me know where you're from. What is your temperature? Hopefully a little cooler than it is down here. And don't forget to check me out on all of my social media. I am on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, of course, YouTube, X. I'm pretty much everywhere. All right, guys, I will see you on the next tutorial.